All right, welcome back. So the Lethu Foundation of South Africa and the SABC Art Collection, they've come together to present Still We Rise. Now, it's a landmark exhibition of artworks made during South Africa's apartheid years, and these are rooted in memory and resistance and resilience. It showcases artworks created between the period of 1948 and 1994. And the exhibition, it will run up until the 23rd of November 2025, all coincides with the G20 Leadership Summit that's also taking place. So let's chat a little bit more about this. SABC Art Collection Curator Koulla Xinisteris joins us here in studio. Koulla, good morning and thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you for having me. And it's just
befitting topic, befitting timing. I'm so happy this is happening. I don't think many people even understand the depth of what we're working with here over all these years. So tell us a little bit more about what is actually available and how it coincides with Maya Angelou's theme or poem Still We Rise.
Sure. The SABC Art Collection and Lethu, for instance, have quite a lot in common. During the apartheid years, the SABC Art Collection focused mainly on white artists' work. We had one token work when I arrived by Koulla, husband and wife, a very strong, beautiful, impactful work, which is on exhibition now at the atrium in Keys. So the Lethu, I was approached by a curator, Carol Brown, to loan work, then became co-curating the exhibition. Then I curated the whole exhibition because of she had a leg break.
Wow.
But the point is that the collection, SABC Art Collection has focused primarily on the idea of predicament, on work of artists that were neglected during the apartheid years. And even the work that post-apartheid work is almost seeped of colour. There's something about issue-based work of suffering, work that we need to embrace, to understand, which is a very small part of our society and our world. But it's just fascinating to come up and having seen these unbelievable works, heart-wrenching, monochromatic, materials limited, and then you get these works that can move you very deeply, that can change you. Still We Rise, Maya Angelou's poem, becomes Still We Rise. Like her poem hasn't died and will not die, nor can our art collections.
It's such a valid point as well, because I mean, you look at the journey the SABC would have also undergone, and if you look at how it was able to hang on to the artwork, even just the value, it's one of the biggest corporate art collections in the country.
Yeah, I would say maybe not the biggest,
one of the biggest.
But in terms of value, in terms of content, when I arrived, this is a public collection, right?
Yes.
So in 1997, I knocked on the door, maybe it was 1996, and said, well, please, can the public see this collection, which were all hidden in offices. Wow. So we curated, and I think on the board at the time it might have been Barbara Masakela, I can't remember. And anyway, I had support for that. It started slowly with a budget of 50,000 Rand. You talk about value, do you want to talk about monetary value, do you want to talk about the human condition? They both count, right? So I don't think the SABC has spent more than 10 million since inception.
Wow.
It's probably worth 350 million now. The temptation to sell it, to help other things happen, it's not in our mandate. You cannot do it. So it's protected. What needs to come out is the collection to the people, to sensitizing people with the human condition. I think it's an area in the world, in South Africa, that we need to really promote, celebrate, and also help us hold hands.
Yeah, it's part of that nation-building project, that social cohesion, preserving our heritage. That's all part of the public broadcaster's mandate.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of people don't necessarily know how to read the visual.
Yeah,
but there's a way to talk about a work that can say, wow, you know.
Can you give us some ideas, perhaps even just what we've got on our screens right now?
Totally, yeah. Distorted as it might be, but, you know, totally. And it's, you know, you can have a mark that an artist makes, and it shoots across the canvas, and it's energetic. And then you can have other artists who like form, who like shape. It becomes iconic, it becomes a prayer. So it's just like, you know, and also people who have children who themselves do not know about art should encourage their children, bring them to collections like the SABC. We do walkabouts.
Do you have info on those walkabouts? I'm even just thinking how it coincides or it runs up until the G20 Summit, which ends on the 23rd of November.
Like, so people say,
timing.
You know, why G20? Why that? You know, there's a whole lot of conflict in the world. So if it's about money and economy, how does that come into helping the human condition? How does work like this speak to everyone? You don't need the spoken language sometimes. So I think it's a very important, it's a very vital part of our lives.
I wonder if a lot of people around the SABC even just look up and look and appreciate, because sometimes you just obviously walk past these artworks, you don't actually take the time to immerse yourself and just be absorbed by it. I know you mentioned a few artists, because it is between that period from 1948 until 1994, Gerard Sikota. Tell us a little bit more about some of the other,
so we've got
artists on display.
Like Dumili Feni is one of them. Okay. Julian Matau is another. Nice story. Julian Matau and Dumili Feni they worked together as children, young. Julian Matau died at the age of 24. And you can see in Dumili's work, you can see their relationship, you can see how they cross-pollinated in some ways. So then you can even ask yourself, who influenced whom? So Dumili Feni's work is gnarled. You've got distorted hands, distorted toes. Well, more Julian Matau's work that we've got in the SABC. And the starvation, all of that kind of stuff comes through. And then you've got Stop Crying Mother. Sorry, I'm just gone.
Well, that exhibition, of course, it's happening, right? Up until the 23rd of November.
Yeah.
If people want more information they want to do those walkabouts.
Yeah, well, the SABC we've got on Instagram. A lot of people are there. We've got the SABC art collection there.
Okay.
People can go there. They can contact us. Schools, teachers, bring your children.
I'll join you for one of those walkabouts.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for being part of this important project, right? That's part of our nation building.
Totally. And I believe we can do it.
Right, so Still We Rise. It's obviously from artworks here. It's with the Lethu Foundation and the SABC Art Collections. Koulla, Xinisteris was just obviously joining us here this morning to chat about what's on offer, the experiences and the emotions that will be evoked, how we continue to heal through these works and beyond as our country goes from strength to strength in this democratic era.